Okay, hopefully third time's a charm. I reset the router, I reset my phone, so hopefully we have a good internet connection and that you can find me. Welcome, my name is Selene Kempton. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I work here. I'm gonna find our video and get sharing. And then we can get started. So hopefully you found us again. I'm sorry if you had trouble, because I was having trouble. That's how the internet works sometimes. So, all right, here we go. I can see your comments. Life is good. So when you pop on, if you could please say hello and let me know that you're here. I had a couple of people message me this week. Somebody's having problems stamping. They have trouble getting their stamps to work. They're especially having trouble with the photopolymer stamps, which I thought was interesting because when I did a survey last week, there was a clear winner that you guys prefer photopolymer over red rubber. But this is a new customer who's new to stamping, and she's having trouble getting good, solid images. Hey, Vicky. So good to see you. I'm glad to be back. I was having some internet issues, but everything seems to be okay. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe from now on I shut my phone off and turn it back on before I start every video. Who knows? But who knows, because it's the internet, right? Anyway, so that was one issue that somebody had problems with. Actually, it was Lucy. She came in last night and to our weekly Monday night Zoom. Take a sip of coffee. Miss Connecticut today, drinking from my Connecticut cup. Okay, so the other thing that people were struggling with this week is using the scoreboard. So what is this crazy thing? A lot of people just prefer to use their paper trimmer, and do I have my trimmer on the table? I hope that I do. Nope, I'll grab one. It's okay. Because we're going to make some swap cards today. My team, every single month, we swap greeting cards. So I make however many cards are in the swap, and I mail them out to everybody that's participating. And this month, my team has 19 people participating in our card swap. I'm so excited and I can't wait to share those swaps with you. If you haven't ever, like if stamping is a big part of your life and you want a vibrant community, our Stampers with Heart team is fabulous. And we had a new person join this week. Well, and she's not new. She's not new to Stampin' Up. She's a longtime friend of mine since 2019. So shout out to Mary Jo. Welcome home. I'm happy to have her home on our team, and she's going to enjoy her discount and maybe teach a class or two. So I'm excited about all of that. But let's jump in. I'm going to just flip the camera and get moving. Hey, Mary Jo, I was just saying hello to you. So yeah, you're not late. I'm late. I was having some computer problems. But the other thing that happened was I was getting ready to go live. I was right on time, and I walked in the kitchen, and there was a puddle of water beside the dorm fridge, and it had defrosted, and we had to clean the whole thing up. And then my hands turned colors because I was cold, and you know, it's a whole thing. So that's why I'm late. I was cleaning out the dorm fridge because there was water, and now there isn't. So that's good. It's always a challenge. Oh, one more thing before we even get moving further. I posted the graphic to my page over the weekend. On Sunday, I put in an order that pushed me over $900,000 in career stamps. That's over 19 years of stamping with people and loving what I do and sharing crafts, but like honestly what we really do is relationships and people, and I started for a discount and I stayed for all the people. So now here we are, 19 years later, and we swap every month. We craft together at least every Monday night online, and it's a beautiful life. So I am very grateful for this journey that I'm on, and for Stampin' Up, and for eradicating loneliness, and for, you know, reaching out to people who don't have a hobby, and changing their perspective on certain things. So today it's really for new people, but I'm going to show you my swaps too. So, all right, so we'll flip the camera and we'll get into why I decided, because I don't know if you guys know me, don't mind, but if you do know me and you've been here before, you know that I am at my best on the fly, right? So on the fly meaning someone asked a question, and honestly, that is what makes my brain fire. So first thing about the scoreboard. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a lefty or a righty. You see, the first thing I do is I take my scoreboard and I turn it to the right. If you're a lefty, the first thing you do is you take your scoreboard and you turn it to the left. My assistant is a lefty. And so when she scores cardstock for me, she'll score it this way, right? Because she's using her left hand. And because the scoreboard tool is being held in her left hand, by turning the board this way, this is a natural motion, right? So I do have a lot of friends that have said they have problems with the scoreboard, so I'm going to turn my scoreboard to the right, and you may wonder what in the heck I'm making. Well, I marked my scoreboard with markers at the 1 1/4 inch, the 4 1/2 inch, and the 6 1/2 inch. And that's because when you're using your scoreboard, it's so much easier to make, say, a box. So I'm going to start with 1 1/4, and this is the brand new Secret C cardstock. Let me see, no picture. Maria, I don't know what you mean by no picture. You can't see the video, or I hope you can see the video. Anyway, this is Secret C cardstock, and I'm going to take an 8 1/2 by 11 as it is, and I'm going to score it on the 8 1/2 inch side down here. So I hold my scoreboard marker, or my tool, almost like a paintbrush. Like if you watch an artist paint, a lot of times they don't paint like you write. You know, you write like this. I put my hand on top, and then I turn it so that my body is making this motion that it's natural for me to slide up and down. So I don't, like, I know that sometimes people feel like they go out of the grooves, and that's because they want to get it so perfect that they line their scoreboard up perfect, and then they want to get it so right that they're on top of it like this, like they're going to write. And honestly, it actually causes more problem. To loosen up and move the scoreboard so that it is moving with your arm makes it a more natural, you know, motion, okay? So I'm going to start with that, and that was 1 1/4 on both sides, okay? So then next I'm going to flip the paper, and Marie, I still don't know what you meant by no picture, so let me know. I posted a picture earlier celebrating that 900,000, if that's what you mean. Doverdu, thank you, my dear. I'm so grateful for all of you. And so many of you have been on this journey with me for years, and I appreciate that too. It's crazy awesome. So anyway, I turned my paper here, and I've got it now on the long side, and I'm going to score my paper at 4 1/2 and 6 1/2. Now, I am very big into sounds. If I hear that the paper is breaking down and it's making this kind of shred noise, like, I know that I need to lighten up my hand and not score so heavy. Otherwise, I could just cut my paper in half with this little ball tool. You may also notice that I use the thick side, and that's because it's less harsh. It's a bigger area, so I'm less likely to make fuzzies, if that makes any sense. So now I'm going to score down again, and I've got this scored at 4 1/2 and 6 1/2, and like I said, 1 1/4 from either end on the 8 1/2 side. Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad you're all set, Marie. I had terrible internet issues today, so I'm going to try and stay in the frame. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut up to those score marks. Anybody know what I'm making? Any guesses? Let me know if you think you know, because if you know, you know. All right. So here's my really basic box. And why would you use a scoreboard? Well, I use it to make boxes all the time, and it's really good when you have markers at certain points. Oh, and before you ask, Stampin' Up! Does not make extra markers. So my daughter, who is an engineering student, sells these in packages, and they're basically $1 a piece. So 10 markers for $10 kind of thing, or however many you want. And they're nice and tight to the scoreboard, so when I go to put it in, they don't move around, and they come in different colors, which is nice because the original one was very similar to the same color as the board, and my old eyes see these bright colors better. So she makes them out of PLA on her 3D printer, and she engineered the file herself. And she'll be home this weekend, so if anybody wants scoreboard markers, reach out to me. So I'm gonna start bending this. And another big question from new people is, once you've scored your paper, which way do you fold it? Do you fold it so that you have the bump up, or do you fold it this way, right? Like, which way is better? So I always try and capture the bumps, because this is now kind of standing up. And if I were to fold it this way and it's sticking out, it's much more likely to stick out than this side. So whatever side's on the outside, I have the indent on the outside, and I capture the hump, if that makes any sense. Okay. So I'm here and I am just kind of making creases. I could use a bone folder if I had one within eyesight, and I don't. I'm using one of my, I got tools everywhere. It's okay. So we've got, I'm gonna also take a little bit out of the middle of this little fold. So here's my crease. This is just gonna make my box sit nicer. Okay. And I can get rid of that. And you would think, oh yeah, here we go. I should have put my adhesive back in the holder where it goes, you know, but that would be too easy. I'm gonna take my two little flaps here and fold them in like this. And then I am going to stand this box base up. Any idea what I'm making so far? Anyone know? Okay, so now I'm gonna take adhesive and I'm gonna run it down this ledge here on the very outside. Secret C. Ugh. This is the color that I had as my wedding bridesmaids dresses. I was married 25 years ago. Boy, I feel old saying that, but it is what it is. And this was my bridesmaid's dress color. It's like a midnight blue. It can pull green in too. But this is just a basic card box. So let's say that you create cards for a friend and you want to gift them. This makes a perfect way for you to gift a box. So now you can just put a hole, run a ribbon, and decorate the front. Okay? Yep, exactly. Vicky, you're so smart. Vicky knew what I was up to. All right, so that being said, today, that was one thing I wanted to do because people asked me about the scoreboard and how it worked. So I just thought we'd make a box for cards. So now I'm going to bring it back in, and these measurements we don't need anymore because we're done making the box. And I can move the little scoreboard marker down to 5.5. I have 19 swap cards to make, but I'm actually gonna make 24 because I have a few people who gave me some testimonials this week on why they love being in Stamp Club. So I'm going to mail them a card too. I've been mailing a card a day for the last 30 days, and I have to say I'm getting addicted to mailing cards. I think that collecting crafting supplies is one hobby. I think that actually making cards is another hobby. And I think mailing them out might be a third. So that's 4 sheets. So I want to get to 12, but you can see with my scoreboard 5 how easy this is to do multiples and not have to think. So I could score a whole pack here in no time. For my stamp club, we actually have to do 3 full packs of paper scored like this, just for 1 card from my club. My card club makes 8 cards a month, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need 3 more. I can't talk and count at the same time. 10, 11, 12. So that's 20. That's enough for 24 card bases, and that's just like quick, right? Makes it super easy. I actually have a trimmer that will cut 3 pieces at a time, so I'll probably use that for this because it's a short stack. But then I invested in a very large paper cutter that will cut like a couple packs at one time. So I use that when I'm cutting for my stamp club, just to save myself a little bit of time. So I'm going to grab a paper trimmer. This one's already been cut, and then we'll show you what we're up to for this swap. So this one's already been cut in half, which is nice, and I did take the liberty of cutting some inserts from my cards, but you'll notice that the insert on this card is using the brand new cloud cover cardstock. So instead of having a white insert, this is actually, it's a very soft, pretty powder blue. It's stunning. And when you pair it up with the new Secret C, it is outstandingly gorgeous. And then I added Winkostella. I hope you're seeing that on the playback. There's like a delay. And then same thing on the inside. I stamped the inside and then I painted it with Winkostella. So gorgeousness. Well, it is a little bit flat in that video. So let's go this way and see if you can see it if I go this way. I actually did Winkostella in the center of this background also. So every single month I have the opportunity to swap with my team. We have a swap coordinator, Sharon Verity. She does such a great job. And then at the end of the month, Sharon jumps onto our team page and shares all the cards with our whole team so that people can see what people are making. This is the stamp set that I decided to create with, and it is out of the new catalog, and it is on pre-order for demonstrators. Now, if you're not a demonstrator and you want to be a demonstrator, you can use it to start with your starter kit. The starter kit's $99. You pick out $125 and you get free shipping, just tax to the state where you live or to the country, whatever. And those prices are different in different countries, obviously, because of the price difference or whatever, the exchange rate. So that being said, once you are a demonstrator, this month I have somebody that just joined my team and they're doing this special because she's brand new. If she reaches 300 in her first month, she will get a beautiful strawberry slush tote. And she's going for it. So I'm pretty excited about that for her. Here's a peek at the 5 new in colors. So this is the cardstock Secret C, Timid Tiger. Oh my gosh. There's going to be a quiz and I'm not going to know all the names. Darling Duckling. Whew, I can remember hard things. Strawberry Slush is a returning color. And then cloud cover. And I just like how these layer. Like every single one looks good with the other. Like the blue and the orange, if you guys have boys, you know that those are great masculine colors. Here I see the beach. You know, it just, depending on which way you turn these, they are a really good, versatile array of colors. So I'm pretty excited about that. All right, so let's come in, and I got a little bit more cutting to do to finish my swap. So we're just gonna pretend that I've already hacked these in half, and I have one here that's cut in half, so we don't have to do that again. But you would just cut it in half at 4 1/4 to make 2 card bases for all of those papers that we scored in, what, 10 seconds? It wasn't that long. So I'm gonna cut this strip from my card stock, and that's this piece here. And that's just 1 by 2 1/2. So a 1-inch strip, and I like to cut against the lines. And you may notice that I'm cutting backwards here. I'm like 1 by 5. And why would I do that? Well, if I'm cutting multiples, this is just scrap, and I can probably use it for another card. If I'm cutting multiples, I can cut this 1 by 5 down to 2 1/2, and now I have enough for 4 cards there, and I have to make quite a few, so yay, we'll keep that. Did I like just cut it the wrong measurement? 2 1/2, right? It would be hysterical if I cut it wrong. I did. I cut it wrong by 1/4 inch. Well, good thing they make more paper. Okay, so that's 1 by 2 1/2. It's really funny. And then this one is going to be a 2-inch strip. Oh no, I lied. Is it? I'm just going to measure it because honestly, I don't trust myself now. Okay. What's that? Measure twice, cut once? All right, so here we go. It's really funny, actually. So I was right, 2 1/2. And it's 1 3/8. So 2 1/2 and 1 3/8. So what is 1 3/8, pray tell? So there's something on this one. But between numbers 1 and 2, there are 16 lines on my cutter here. Okay, this is centimeters, so we're not going to look at that. But so 16 lines would be 3/8 would be 6/16, right? So it would be 6 lines over if you did it that way. But I know, because I know my 1/8 and my 16ths, that it is 1/4 and then 2 lines over. So that's 2 3/8 for people that don't card math and that don't feel bad. If you've never been taught, that's not your fault. I did post a really cool ruler online of how to read a ruler from the beginning, and I have people that have told me that they actually printed it out and put it at their workstation, so that's pretty cool. So I'm going to come in here at 5 1/4 by 4, that's for my insert. And actually, I'm going to grab another piece of cloud cover because I'll get 4 of those out of one sheet, and I don't want to waste my cardstock. So this piece, this blue cloud cover piece, is measuring 4 by 2 3/4. So I'm going to first cut it at 4. And 5 1/2 is this line all the way up. This is a extendo arm, right? So the paper trimmer goes out to 17 inches, which is really cool. On this extendo arm, there's this line that goes the length of the paper cutter, and that line marks the 5 1/2. If you go all the way to the fence, like the piece of plastic that stands up, that's 6, but this is 5 1/2. So we'll go 5 1/2, and then 2 3/4, because it's already in there, and it's so much easier to cut it down if I go that way. So I will get 8 of these from one sheet of paper. Oh, see, Vicky said she has it cut out and laminated and she keeps it in her stamping bag. That is so smart, Vicky. Okay, so I've got my cloud cover here. You can see some glitter from last night. I had this stuff on my table from Preorder, and I was going to use it on my cards, but it is so staticky in my studio that when I took the cover off and I literally just ran my hand over it from Preorder, all of these things kept popping out. So like, so I kept trying to put it back in the tin, but it wouldn't go because it's very, I guess I need to turn on the humidifier, but isn't that pretty? That's loose shaker sequins elements. You can see making those faker shakers that we love so much with them. All right. So I would normally get a Stampin' Mat, but I have 4 pieces of paper here, so I'm just going to pretend that it's there. Although I'm going to need one anyway, so I'll just go get it because we're going to need one for the card base. All right. And we need the Secret C ink pad, which is buried on here somewhere. For those of you that took the tool class, just a side note, I am filming the video today, so I hope that by the close of business tomorrow, you will have your directions for your 5 cards. I've been shipping packets as they came in, as the orders came in. I'll let you have a look at that. I whacked my head, that was funny. Here's the cards. One is a lock pop that I did on a video here last week. So if you want to see how to make this and you don't want to take the class, it's okay. That's really funny. I just watched it on the playback. I whacked my head. But it's a lock and fold, so the card doesn't open until you slide that. If you're gifting this card, you may want to put something on it, like a Post-it note that says slide. My dad joke card. My husband loves this one, and he laughed so hard when he saw it. The most awesome. And let's see. These are just extras for the video. This thank you card. This comes out of stuff you would normally throw away out of the paper. The paper comes with it. The dots come with it. The twine come with it. You just need to put your stamps and ink with it, and it's ready to go. I have 5 of these left if you didn't get one, so reach out to me if you're interested. Inexpensive class. Because I got the paper for free, I passed that savings on to you guys. Let's see. Here it is. Secret C. Don't tell anybody it's a secret. Okay. I did cut a few inserts already. This one has a mark on it, so I'm going to flip it over and we can stamp that. Anytime I am making a swap, if it has a funny thing on it, I make sure that I just redo my stamping, because I want, if you're swapping with me, I want you to get something that you like, you know. So I'll just either flip it over or grab another piece of paper if it's not perfect. Okay, let's talk about this for a second. So my friend Mary Jo is talking on her live about how she conditions her photopolymer stamps. Before she inks up, she actually hits it with Versamark first, just to kind of get it so that the ink will stick better. So if you're having trouble getting a solid image with your photopolymer stamps, I'm going to suggest that first. So thanks, Mary Jo, for that tip. And if you're not sure of who Mary Jo is, she's Shady Inker, I believe, or it's Caffeinate and Create now. She changed her business page name, so Caffeinate and Create with MJ. So I am just inking up, and we had this conversation last night, but it's so much better when you see it in a video, right? I only touch the part of the stamp that's going to make contact with the paper to my ink pad. So my block isn't a funky color. I can still see through it. I can see that when I touch the ink, the stamp lights up. So it makes my stamping experience really great. And then I'm gonna look at this and say, Linda is great, Linda is great, Linda is great. She's the last one that left a comment. And then go again. So photopolymer, because my friend last night was saying, I don't have any problems with red rubber, but I have terrible trouble like getting my photopolymer stamps to actually stamp as cleanly. So you notice that I don't have terrible pressure on here. It's just down and I'm just holding it there. And then I do my little chant. And then when I lift it, it's given the photopolymer material a couple of extra seconds to transfer that ink onto my cardstock. When you're using red rubber, that length of time isn't necessary. So it gives you this kind of, but for this one, it does. It takes a couple extra seconds for it to soak in, and it's nice to just leave it there. If you have white fingers, you're pushing too hard. If you're stamping and you find that your words are fuzzy when they come up, or they're like kind of gummy, it could be the pressure of your hand. So you want to hold the stamp a little bit lighter. So this is all just something because I had questions this week, and thanks for your patience if you're an expert stamper. But Lucy was asking me how she could get cleaner images, and that was what made me get all chatty. So here's for the inside of the card. And again, I'm press and hold, just normal pressure. Make contact with the paper, but like contact with the ink pad, but like I didn't get ink all over here, which is nice. Just a little bit of pressure is enough. And then Wink Estella makes all of this pop. So pretty. I think I put Wink on everything, so I apologize if that's not your jam. I put that stuff on everything. Okay, so here's the pieces that we cut, and this again is 1 by 2.5. I hope I have enough ribbon to make a bow out of what's on the table. It was the end of a roll, and I do have plenty more, but it would prevent me from having to get up and make you wait to get more ribbon. So I'm hoping that there's enough. And this is 2.5 by 1 3/8. Sending warm wishes. And then, oh yeah, that's enough. We're gonna tie a quick bow. But before we do, I'm gonna make sure that there's no secret C on my brush, and I'm gonna wink the flowers in this paper. Again, this paper is on pre-order for demonstrators. I can do a supply list after, I hope. Before the company that I use to help me make my links, because I pay for a service for that, if it's not current, I can't make a link for it. So, but I can tell you what it's called anyway, hopefully. If I can find it on the table here. Hang on. I think this is it. Yeah, Florals in Bloom. So pretty. Just the minute I get used to the names, then it changes again, so. All right. So, big question. Tell me what's for supper. If you guys tell me what you're planning to have for supper, I'll do a drawing and announce it over on the creative page, Creating with Selene. If you're not a member of that community, come check us out. But what's for supper? And I'll just do a random drawing when I get off. I'll send you some bling. Okay, so this is iridescent ribbon that is not retiring. So it didn't make the last chance list, and it is in the online store. It did not make the new catalog, which means it could retire at some point, but it's not just yet, which I love. And these are iridescent gems, and they were my favorite thing from the current catalog. They also didn't carry, but they're in the online store, so they'll be in the online store for a while. They didn't make the last chance list. All right, so now I have my card base. And I took this image, which was meant to fill in a die cut purse, and I'm gonna start to stamp a background, Secret C on Secret C. Isn't that pretty? And I also can keep in mind that this is gonna be here, so I don't need to stamp in the middle unless I want to, and then I can, but nobody's gonna see it, so that's funny. What's that? Nobody's gonna know if you don't paint behind the toilet, and then everybody who goes and checks the toilet to see if their contractor painted back there. And I am going kind of quick. I should slow down because there's a couple of spots that didn't make perfect dots, but I think they're going to end up behind the paper anyway. I'm going to go right onto the back. It's fine. I'll go this way. Super forgiving. All right, so now I'm going to go through, because I'm crazy like that, and I'm going to touch the center with my wink. And yes, I'm going to do this for however many cards I'm making today. I think it's going to be 24. It won't take too long. This could be a thing that I do in front of the TV later, maybe. But it really does make this paper shine. You guys probably aren't seeing it on the playback, are you? Here, let me see if I can zoom in just a little. That help. See if that helps. I don't know. I'm going to keep going so that you don't have to wait all day, but you get the idea. This is a super sweet and easy to replicate sample. So hopefully when my team members get it, they'll feel empowered to make cards for days. Because like really, 2.5 by 1 is not a lot of designer paper when you're talking about 12 by 12 sheets. So you just use a tiny little bit, and you can mix and match the papers that you want to choose and make patterns in your own. I love this layout. Actually, this layout is from 2019. That's when I first did it. Okay, so I think I got the majority of them. If not, I can go back and wink it later. All right, so here we go. I'm going to add a little adhesive to the back of this and get it stuck on. Leftover hot dogs and sauerkraut. That sounds wonderful. I like it when you get the sauerkraut like nice and brown. Okay, so sending warm wishes. Pretty, huh? And you know, the embellishments do make it. And the iridescent with the Wink Estella, it just pulls it back in. And then here's our card insert on that Secret Sky, or Secret C, sorry. I'll get there. It's because I'm looking at this color, and instead of cloud cover, I'm thinking sky blue. It's so pretty. All right, so that's my second swap. And it coordinates perfectly with the little box we made, so I could just put handles on that box and put it in. But we covered quite a bit. We covered using the scoreboard today. We covered getting better images with your photopolymer, priming your stamp with Versamark. Showed a cute layout, and I have 23 more of these to make. I'm gonna flip the camera back. Oh, you know what? I'm not. I want to show you a couple more things. We showed you the tool class. The 10th of the month is the last day to opt into Card Club. And this month we have fun folds and absolutely stunning cards. And I think they call this a skirt fold. And I went with the off-white for this pattern because I thought it brought in the paper better. This paper was in the January through April mini. And I thought that it was going away because it wasn't in the new catalog, but it is carrying over. I confirmed that with demo support. So I'm very excited about using products that set my heart on fire. And this is my favorite paper from that January mini. So in the middle of all of these birthday best wishes, and this one also fits the thank you stamp. It's from my friend Julie Davidson's $1 Million stamp, with you in mind. Happy birthday, simple, beautiful, and this also fits thinking of you, but I think that these are screaming birthdays. So, but in the middle of all of that, we made a sympathy card thinking of you from the same stamp set for all in one class with one stamp set, and it's adorable. Stamp Club is, here, let me flip the camera. Stamp Club is $44.50. It now does not include envelopes. Otherwise, I would have to go up on the price for everyone. So rather than do that, cardstock is going from $11.50 to $14 in the new catalog. If you haven't gotten your cardstock, I would say it's a good time to stock up. The white has already shifted over to the 24 packs at $14. So these, as they become updated, you'll need to, you should order some if you need cardstock before the price goes up. The 5 in colors are going away. Boho blue at 2, that whole section of colors. If you need cardstock or ink refills, I would say now's the time. I think boho might actually already be gone. But anyway, if you're not in club and you'd like to try it out, I do have a couple of openings, and it's going to be a fun month. I like birthday, thank you, best wishes, and thinking of you. We covered every possible what my card club members said they needed. Card Club also has a private Facebook group, and I put extra tutorials in there that are just exclusive for Card Club Monthly. So, so it's a lot of fun. And if you have questions, let me know. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for your support. Like I said, 900,000 is crazy number, but it has been my job for 19 years. So I work it, and I do the best I can to serve you guys. And if you need anything, let me know. If you have questions about a stamping technique or something that doesn't make any sense to you, ask me, because today was all about new stampers asking me questions, and it really helps me help you. So thanks, everybody, and we'll talk to you again.